Calling all perfectionists and black and white thinkers. You vouch to yourself that starting today, you are going to do this diet perfectly. And this time, you mean it. No treats at all. No matter what, 100% perfect on plan. And then you have one bite of a cookie and you say, well, I already messed up, so I may as well throw in the towel. Sound familiar? Then watch this video. Hey, I'm Healthy Emmie, and I've worked with thousands of people that have fallen into this trap, and we've scooped them out. This trap, called the ego trap, was coined by Dr. Lisle. And by the way, if you don't know who I am, hey, Healthy Emmie, I'm a nutritionist, creator of the Slim on Starch program. If you want to work with me, a mindset coach and a nutrition coach, click the link in the down bar. But anyway, back to the ego trap. So if you fall into this trap where you swear that you're going to be perfect and then you mess up and then just totally throw in the towel because, well, you know, the whole day is shot now, everything's ruined, so I may as well, I already messed up. You might think to yourself, what the heck is going on here? Why am I doing this? Because when you step back and look at it logically, you know that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. I mean, if you were to drop your phone and it gets a teeny tiny little mark on it, but it's functioning perfectly and you can barely see that mark, you're not going to pick up your phone, chuck it against the wall, take a hammer to it, smash it to pieces, and then light it on fire. But that's exactly what you do with your diet when you have one bite of a cookie. So when I explain it to you like that, like I do when I'm on a call with a client, you'll say to me, or my client will say to me, you're right, Emmie, I know that. That makes sense to me. I understand that it makes no sense that I do this. Logically, I know this because the people that I work with are very smart people. But you say, I just can't help it for some reason. It feels impulsive, like I just automatically throw everything away and feel better if I do that and then just start over tomorrow. I just can't sit with that weird gray area. But then when I reflect back on it, I'm like, why did I do that? What did I just do? Well, let me explain to you exactly what's going on here. I work through this very often with clients as a nutritionist, so I'm no stranger to the way of thinking whatsoever. And I've successfully unraveled this behavioral pattern with my clients, and I'm going to do that today in this video with you. You're falling into what we call the ego trap. Let's take this away from the concept of dieting and weight loss for a moment, as Dr. Lisle does when he explains this, so that you can explain the concept. And then once we understand the concept, we'll apply it back to weight loss and dieting so that it makes sense to you. As conscious humans, we have an internal audience, which is like a panel of judges that watches and judges and rates everything that we do. When we put on a cute outfit, the internal audience says, ooh, I love that. When we get a good grade or a good mark by our boss, the internal audience says, oh, well done. When we get a speeding ticket, the internal audience is like, ooh, no, very naughty, very bad. We do not approve of that. Now, what our internal audience hates and despises more than anything is when we try our best at something and then we fail. Oh, the internal audience does not like that. It finds it very embarrassing. The internal audience actually would be more pleased if you didn't try at all, because then it says, well, there's nothing to be embarrassed about because we didn't even try. So taking this out of weight loss for a moment, let's imagine that you're going out for the soccer team at school. Bring yourself back to the high school days. You're going out for the soccer team at school. Not making the team, that would be very embarrassing. It would be easier and less uncomfortable to just not go out for the team at all, to save yourself the embarrassment that the internal audience is going to give to you. Makes sense? So the internal audience either wants you to succeed 100% so that it can give you a gold star, or don't even waste their time at all. So now that you understand the concept, let's apply this back to dieting and weight loss. You embark on your new perfect diet because you want your internal audience to give you a gold star. Your internal audience is not easy to please. Just like you go out for the soccer team and say, okay, internal audience, I'm going to make the soccer team. And then you have a bite of a cookie. This would be the equivalent to the coach kind of making a I don't know about them face, and you catch it when they're talking to the other coaches and you're like, shoot, I don't know if I'm going to make this soccer team and everybody else is looking really good. What you could do is keep trying and maybe you'll make JV or maybe you'll be on an alternate team, but you want to make varsity or not at all. You get so embarrassed that you say, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to drop out of tryouts because I don't want to not make the team. That would be so embarrassing if I went out for the team and didn't make it. So I'm just going to quit. That way, the internal audience can't tell me how much of an embarrassment I am because I quit. So it doesn't count. I quit, so I technically wasn't even trying to make the team. It was my decision. So internal audience, you can't judge me. This is exactly what you do when you take the bite of the cookie and you say, shoot, the internal audience isn't going to like this. So I have to show the internal audience that I'm not even trying. So this is why you throw in the towel completely so that you can say to the internal audience, none of this really counts. Tomorrow you can start keeping score, but this isn't on the record. You can't judge me for this because I'm not even trying. So none of this counts. This is all a write-off, and tomorrow I'm going to start my perfect diet because you can start to judge me tomorrow, internal audience. This is the ego trap, and you are probably like, oh my God, this all makes sense now. And if you are that person and I'm speaking to you, don't worry, I have a solution for this. This is possible to escape. This is why I've worked very hard to craft the journey that my client goes through in the Slim on Starch program to help you get out of the ego trap. So let me explain to you the journey that I take my clients on through the Slim on Starch program and then into our master's program so that they can escape the ego trap. So the proper way to do this is as follows. The first thing that I do is have my clients go through a 6-week Slim on Starch program. In that 6 weeks, we are forming a very strong foundation. You might be tempted to call it the perfect diet, but I don't call it that. All I call it is a very strong Slim on Starch foundation built on a whole food plant-based diet. Once they've nailed this, then we move into the master's program. And by the way, my clients can be losing weight throughout this entire thing, and usually they are. Once they're in the master's program, we very methodically pull back in certain foods, starting with healthy foods like corn tortillas and bread and pasta and nut butters and tahini that are a little bit more calorically dense. We pull those back in very methodically to show the client that they can have some of these richer foods and still reach their goals. Then once we've done that, we craft what's formed what we call a signature system. The signature system gets into those fun foods that usually you end up binging on. So then we're talking about cookies, cakes, pastries, all the fun stuff. We're talking about birthdays and date nights and traveling and celebrations. We pull those back in very methodically so that you can look at any food on the planet and you don't have to say, that's a good food, that's a bad food, that's on plan, that's off a plan, that's going to make me gain weight, that's going to make me lose weight. If I have that, I'm off my diet. If I have that, I'm on my diet. We take away the black and white thinking and allow you to form a signature system that encapsulates all the foods that you want to eat. So when you're in the Slim on Starch program, you look at a certain food and say, oh no, that's off my diet. Instead, you say, that's what we call a later food because it's something that we're going to incorporate later when we're in the master's program. So gone are the days of looking at a food and saying, oh no, my internal audience is going to kill me if I have that because then I'm off my diet. Instead, you say, in the master's program, I'm going to learn exactly how I can incorporate that back in and still reach my goals. So if this sounds tantalizing to you, I've spent years crafting this client journey, and it works if you stick to it, then work with me. And if you're a client of mine watching this video, trust the process that I have spent years and thousands of clients worth crafting out, and it is perfect now. So please go through the program the way it is designed so that you can come out on the other end having escaped the ego trap. If you're interested in this, please click the down bar to apply to work with me and my team, and we are going to get you out of the ego trap. And bonus points if you say to me, I need to get out of the ego trap. I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in my next one.